Kia ora and welcome to yet another video in my series on New Zealand education and migration. My name is Arun Jacob and I am a licensed New Zealand immigration advisor. I like to call myself the friendly and frank licensed immigration advisor so that you guys get the right information and also services from my organization to be able to come to New Zealand on a temporary or on a more permanent basis. We do a lot of work with international students who like to come to New Zealand and study here, and some of them wish to just come and experience New Zealand on a temporary basis and go back to their own countries and and pursue their careers. And while others do come here and they want to stay here on a more permanent basis because there is a policy which allows students to come here and complete their courses at a particular level of study, after which they are entitled to get a post-study work visa. And some of them do use this post-study work visa very well, and then move into a job and then get into an eventual residency. So yeah, that's a pretty good pathway. Now, but going back a few steps, right at the very start of this journey of coming as an international student to New Zealand, I mean, there is the visa process, and prior to that, you also have the admission process with the different institutions that are there here in New Zealand. And when you start your process through a company like AJV or through some other organization, you essentially start writing something called a statement of purpose, which is to say and kind of affirm what is the purpose of your coming to New Zealand and undertake that particular course in that particular institution, and in some instances in that particular subject area, and so on and so forth. So the statement of purpose becomes a very critical document, both for at the time of admission as well as at the time of the visa application as well, because the people in the institution look at your statement of purpose and say, okay, yeah, this guy is, or this girl is good enough to become part of this particular course, and if they still have any issues, they will probably come back to you and say, hey, look, can you elaborate a bit more on your statement of purpose? So you might get that extra chance with your institution to be able to submit a new statement of purpose. But when it comes to the immigration New Zealand process of ascertaining your student visa application, they also would like to see a statement of purpose from you, talking pretty much about the same thing: why you chose that course, that particular college or institution, and what you intend to get out of that particular course. What are your how do you justify picking that particular course? What is your background or work experience, or what was your past educational experience to justify this particular course? And what do you intend to do after you complete this course? Do you intend to stay back in New Zealand and look for work, or do you intend to go back to your own country? If you say, yeah, I'm going to go back to my country, how do you justify? What are the strong attributes or reasons that will take you back to your own country? So the statement of purpose becomes quite a critical document. And unlike the institutions who will give you a second chance to, probably, talk a bit more about yourself, the immigration department will not do that, because they have thousands and thousands of applications from, students everywhere across the world who would like to come and study in New Zealand. So they, obviously are, very time constrained, and I'm sure they're also very, manpower constrained. So they really can't, be bothered about having to write back to everybody and say, hey, look, can you please explain a bit more clearly? So you get one shot at writing that statement of purpose, both for the institution as well as to the immigration New Zealand department. And the unfortunate thing that is that a lot of student clients who come to us, have no clue about what the statement of purpose is, and more often than not, they kind of ask my team members saying, hey, look, can you help me to write the statement of purpose? And which is a bit counterproductive, which is not correct, because we are not here to help people who cannot even write a single page document to talk about why they want to be in New Zealand. And there are probably a lot of other consultancies and agents who will give you even templates and say, just fill your name and your college name and things like that, and it becomes a statement of purpose. But at AJV, we believe that is a completely wrong approach to writing a statement of purpose, because this whole exercise of coming to New Zealand as an international student and investing your time, money, and effort, and it's quite a bit of money as well, and quite a bit of time and effort as well. is not merely just to be here in this country on some pretext through some statement of purpose written by some other guy, or picking something off the internet and just changing the names and putting your names, because it's I mean, think about it. It's a bit more deeper than just getting that visa and entering this country. It is about acquiring that real knowledge. It is about acquiring that real depth of understanding in the course that you're planning to take up. And if you intend to stay here, I mean, it is also about showing your genuine intent from day one when you start this whole student visa process and the admission process as well. So if you are a student who cannot even possibly sit down and write a statement of purpose, in one A4 sheet, and explain in 300-400 words who you are, what's your family background, what is the education qualification you already have, or any work experience, what are your passions, what are your interests, why do you want to come to New Zealand, why did you choose New Zealand, why did you not choose some other country, what makes New Zealand so attractive to you, what is this course all about, what are the subjects or papers, what are the papers in that particular course that appeal to you as an individual, in what way do you think it will add value to you, not only as a student but also as a professional going forward, and what are your future intentions, if and be bold in that statement of purpose. If your future intention is to stay back in New Zealand by taking advantage of the post-study work visa, and eventually you want to pathway into residency, there is absolutely nothing wrong in making that statement in that statement of purpose, because that's what the official policy of the government of New Zealand is. So there is nothing to hide about it. I mean, unfortunately, I know that a lot of these so-called agents and consultancies, they will tell you, no, please hide the fact that you want to stay back, because they might deny you the visa. Why? On the other hand, we at AJB, we tell our clients very, very clearly, saying, if that is your purpose, this is a right good opportunity to prove how good you are to become a future worker, a future resident, and a future citizen of New Zealand. Because New Zealand requires migrants, and New Zealand requires young migrants. New Zealand would rather have young migrants who have come here to this country and studied here by investing their money, time, and effort, and understand our systems and processes, know what this country is all about, understand our culture, understand our practices, our professional, ways of doing business here. And so you are actually a much, much better future migrant and future resident and future citizen of this country. So there is absolutely nothing wrong in being honest and open and saying, hey, look, that is my genuine purpose. And if you're not able to formulate those thoughts clearly, or if you are kind of hiding behind pretexts because it's the common understanding that if you tell a visa officer that you want to stay back, they will automatically reject it, dispel that thought, dispel that misconception out of your mind, and start getting bold. And that's what we tell our clients at HAB. We tell them, hey, look, guys, if that is your real intention, let's work on it together. Let's put it forward. And we will also then, in our own, because along with your statement of purpose, we also write a covering letter with your student visa application. And we actually state saying that this person intends to do this after the completion of his course. And the reason why he will become a good future worker and a future resident and a future citizen of this country is also because he's got this background. So please examine and assess this application in conjunction with all this information put together. So the statement of purpose becomes a very, very critical document, and I strongly encourage all you guys to please write that yourself. Write it from your heart, write it, and that statement of purpose will also indicate how good your English skills are. You are coming into a country where the one of the primary official languages is English, and you're going to come into a country which predominantly, operates and works in English. And if your English skills are not good enough to write one single sheet of your own statement of purpose, then you're possibly taking the wrong step anyway, because you're probably risking that money, time, and effort into coming into this country. So that statement of purpose is actually a very good moment to kind of take a reality check to see, hey, look, am I even doing the right thing and wanting to go to New Zealand and be there and study and, become a future resident, and things like that. So I urge all of you young people who are planning to come to New Zealand and as an international student to take the time, put in the effort to not copy a statement of purpose that is on the internet, or not just fill in your name by through in a template that is given to you by your agent or your consultant. Sit and work with it, and somebody like AJV, and our a competent team of people, we will assess that statement of purpose, and we will say, hey, look, let's make one small change here, or let's maybe rearrange this paragraph a little bit. So that's the work that we can do for you. but we certainly cannot sit and write that statement of purpose for you because it is ethically and morally wrong, and it is not something that AJV condones as a practice. As I keep saying in my all my videos, so we consider ourselves as the same stakeholders as a visa officer in the Immigration New Zealand department, and we believe we are just part of the same chain of people who are trying to attract the best talent here into New Zealand and hopefully retain your people as well. So give some emphasis and put some importance and put some, what we call in New Zealand, we call it elbow grease, which is hard work. So put some elbow grease into that, statement of purpose. And that is a beautiful document that can go on to define your entire future in New Zealand. So yeah, I encourage all of you to sit down and put your thoughts down clearly. And I hope I have answered your question clearly about statement of purpose. If you guys have any more queries or you want specific answers to any particular questions, please leave your comments below and I'll be happy to make some more videos. Thank you for listening, and my team and I, we look forward to helping you to come to New Zealand and making this beautiful country your new home. Thank you.